Okay, so I got a guest with me here today. Hey Matti, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
I was actually thinking that maybe you should try my Fujifilms today.
Oh really?
Yeah.
A Canon guy?
Yeah.
Trying
a Canon
Fujifilm?
guy trying Fujifilm. I think that would be kind of great. We could actually, you could put your own memory card in there. You could do whatever you want with the photos. Just give them to me at some point that I could put them into this video. So that would be kind of great. Let's see.
Then I just take your camera with me.
I think that's stealing, bro.
No, that's just borrowing for a long time.
So what I got for you here is the XH2, and then I got a load of lenses for you that you can choose whenever you, or just change them around whenever you want to. So we could go with that.
I think I'll be fine with this, except that how the fuck do you turn this on?
I think we're just gonna go through a quick tutorial before we're gonna get started. So let's go. Okay, now that Matti's got my camera over there, I can't really shoot with anything else but then my film camera over here, so I'm gonna be using that. But let's see, Matti's gonna take some photos around the streets. We're gonna do some street photography. I'm gonna take some B-roll and just film that happening. And let's see what Matti's thoughts are of Fujifilm after that, as a Canon user.
As a Canon user.
Boy, it's a little bit windy. So Matti, what are you doing?
So I'm putting on my strap-ons here. Gonna
Edit.
get some POV stuff for you guys.
Putting on a strap on with POV stuff is getting out of hand. Matti, I'm leaving you here. I'm gonna go home. I'll see you later. Okay, so Matti does some POV photography. He's got the DJI
Osmo Action 3, my
DJI
newest
Osmo
toy.
Action 3, yeah.
Yeah, this is my newest toy. I just kind of previewed it, and now I'm gonna test it in the real world and not just in theory. So let's try it out, I guess.
So what I gave Matti to use is the XH2, and I gave him a bunch of lenses, but he wanted to use the 23mm f1.4. That's a good choice.
AKA 35.
AKA 35 in a full frame equivalent, that's right. Like I said, Matti owns Canons, full frame Canons that is, so I have to explain everything in full frame to him so he understands. Don't get me wrong, I usually speak in the real terms, you know? Matti got so excited about film recipes, he's probably 90% of the time using one film, 100% of the time using one film recipe, and that's Carbon Obscura.
Yeah.
Carbon Obscura is one of my favorite film recipes also, so I'm gonna put a link down below where you can find it. Now Matti's a professional in taking gear photography, so I highly suggest you check him out on Instagram because, well, it's mostly about gear related stuff. He's great at taking gear photos and talking about gear. If you're interested in any kind of photography gear, mainly about Canon now, but Maybe about Fuji in the future. Matti just told me that he's been having a Fujifilm fever, but this isn't helping him at all.
No, this is not helping me at all.
At all. Okay, Matti, what do you think is the most important part about street photography? What do you want in a photo?
Well, of course the basics like the lighting composition is great to have, but in my opinion street photography is so much about telling the story. So you are capturing what's happening in the streets. So I think that the storytelling, you have to convey an emotion. So that is the most important part for me.
I know. Take a picture of the guy having a beer.
Hmm?
Take a picture of the guy having a beer. I mean, like from the bushes. Would it be like here? Now I told you that Matti is a Canon user, but he has never used a Fujifilm before, or at least that's what I think.
No, I haven't.
So, what are your first initial thoughts of Fujifilm?
The film simulations are great. I mean, like, those are magic. Street photography is just so good with these cameras. I love that you are going to get those great images straight out of the camera. So no editing required. You almost get the final image straight out of the camera. Fujifilm cameras are also so small and compact compared to this monster. Okay.
I had the same monster.
This is a 70-200 f2.8, so this is a gigantic lens and not the typical street photography lens. So it's not a fair comparison, but it's still huge compared to this. So for streets, I'll pick Fuji.
So you'd pick them for streets, but you don't have actually anything to say about professional work yet. But when you see the images, we'll get back to that, and Matti will tell you, or actually Matti will tell me, and I will tell you what he thinks of the images and would he do professional work with those. So after that, I really need some coffee. We headed out to a coffee shop. Matti took some photos there. We decided to call it quits after that. We had been shooting for about 4 to 5 hours straight without any breaks and doing anything else really. So it felt good just to quit there while we were ahead of things, where we were on top of things, so that was good. Now I enjoy shooting with film a lot, more about that later. And no, this is not anything Peter McKinnon inspired for you who thinks I've been copying him. I've had this camera since I was 16. I've been shooting film, and this right here is just a new addition to things. So I'll be just going through this later on. Now it's been a few days since we shot that video, and I was supposed to tell you Matti's thoughts, but luckily Matti did a video and he's gonna tell them by yourself. Boom.
Hi guys, it's Matti from the future giving you my final thoughts on the Fujifilm cameras after 1 day of usage. So, would I use Fujifilm cameras for professional work? The short answer is yes, and the long answer is that it's situational. Where I would use Fujifilm cameras for professional work is like those kind of situations where you don't really need superb autofocus. So that is like stationary things, for example, product photos and maybe portraits, street photos. But I noticed that Fujifilm cameras, at least the one that I used, had quite a few misses even in kind of those easy situations, and that kind of pissed me off when I saw that even some product photos or actually quite a few product photos, had missed focus. And that was kind of strange for me because I've gotten used to the Canon's absolutely amazing autofocus that grabs to every single thing every single time. So that was a bummer, but for those situations that don't require such a superb autofocus, then I would absolutely use Fujifilm cameras for professional work.
So those are Matti's thoughts. You know my thoughts, pretty much, if you've been watching my videos. And that's about it. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.